Ladies and gentlemen, Senior Counsel AHMEDNASIR ABDULLAHI, the Grand Mullah, has offered his unsolicited advice to President William Ruto. According to the Grand Mullah, President Ruto should replace Professor Abraham KITHURE KINDIKI as his running mate in 2027 and pick someone from either the Luo nation or the Luhya nation. And I also listened to one of the leaders from the Mulembe nation who advised President William Ruto face to face to pick Moses Masika Wetangula as his running mate in the next general election. Which begs the question, should William Ruto replace Professor KITHURE KINDIKI as his running mate following the humiliating defeat in Ol Kalou? In this video, I want us to talk about that particular angle which is now emerging. And I want to look at two things. Why Ruto is being pushed to replace Kindiki, and the political realities, whether it makes sense to replace Kindiki in 2027. But first of all, let me take you through this post. Yesterday's vote in Ol Kalou doesn't sugarcoat for President William Ruto the plain and transparent truth on the tortuous road to 2027. It gives him a binary choice. Continue listening to the effusive and praiseful lullabies by Kiambu politicians whose support is in single digit and not beyond immediate family members. Stick with Professor KITHURE KINDIKI, and believe their false. Stick with Professor KITHURE KINDIKI and believe their false narrative that he will get 40% of Mount Kenya votes, and know that a humiliating defeat is certain. Or act the political folk you always have been, pick a Luo or a lawyer running mate, preferably the latter, and hit the road running. The choices are clear, and President Ruto must smell the coffee by force. Ladies and gentlemen, there's something about the Grand Mullah. This is a man who don't just post things. In most cases, he's communicating something from the NIS. But let us forget about that. Let us focus on Kindiki. Do you think it's a good idea to replace Professor Abraham KITHURE KINDIKI? And why is Ruto being advised to replace him? First of all, let us look at why Ruto is being advised. Number one, there is the Mount Kenya factor. The truth of the matter is that without Mount Kenya, William Ruto would not have been elected. And the truth as we speak today is that William Ruto has lost the mountain. So there's the feeling that William Ruto has tried everything, but he cannot get the mountain. And therefore, since he cannot get the mountain, it would make sense not to dangle that VP or that DP to another region. Number two, there is the Sifuna wave, which is currently sweeping not only the Luhya nation, but almost all the ODM support base. So the idea is to try and tame Sifuna wave. So you appoint a lawyer to tame Sifuna wave, or you appoint someone from ODM to also tame Sifuna wave within the ODM support base. And also, there is the fear, there's now the real fear of William Ruto losing the elections, especially people like AHMEDNASIR ABDULLAHI who have been part of the system. Now they're saying that, okay, if something is not done, then we are likely to lose. And of course, ODM party is also laying some claim. They're saying that for us as ODM, we want the running mate. And they're doing that now because they know for sure that Ruto has lost the mountain. And therefore, there's the high chance now that they can negotiate. But is it possible? Is it viable to replace Professor KITHURE KINDIKI in 2027? In this video, I want you to pay very close attention as I give my opinion. Before I do that, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Ladies and gentlemen, is it politically viable to replace Kindiki? What are the political realities? Number one, we have Professor Abraham KITHURE KINDIKI coming from the mountain. And we have Mount Kenya. And we have Mount Kenya East. William Ruto, I strongly believe, can focus on Mount Kenya East. Do what is called divide and rule. Because Kindiki comes from Mount Kenya East. I doubt if his people can dump him. which means William Ruto should focus on the 3 counties of the mountain. That is the Meru County, which has good number of votes, around 700,000, I think. Tharaka Nithi, where Kindiki comes from. Embu, although Embu is a bit tricky, then he can now focus on those sides, Isiolo, moving forward. Because why I'm suggesting that, if William Ruto were to remove Kindiki completely, he's going to lose Mount Kenya West, which is already gone, and he's also going to lose Mount Kenya East. If Kindiki is there, then there's that fighting chance. Because we are not sure that if Kindiki is removed, then William Ruto is going to get the same number of votes from the other side. Because the truth is, as we speak, Mount Kenya, but how will William Ruto fill those numbers? Because Mount Kenya has the numbers. So that's the first reality, Mount Kenya East. If Ruto can bank or can try and focus on Mount Kenya East, and hopefully they give him the votes, that would be enough. Because if you look at Nyanza, we have how many counties now? No? We can talk of, now talk of Siaya, Kisumu, Homa Bay, and Migori. We cannot bet on Kisii and Nyamira. But based on the political developments, I think William Ruto might win back Kisii if Matiang'i will not be a presidential candidate. So that's number 1. Number 2, Edwin Sifuna's entry into the presidential race is complicating the Western or the Luhya equation. What would be the need of replacing Kindiki, let's say, with Moses Masika Wetangula? And then the United Opposition decides to front Sifuna. Because the truth is, if that were to happen, in the Luhya nation, the choice is going to be between now the deputy president and the presidency. So they'll definitely go with Sifuna. So which means, even as we speak, if you were to remove Kindiki and decide, okay, let's have Mudavadi or let's have Weta, they will still face that Sifuna wave, and the region might still vote for Edwin Sifuna. So you can't really bank. So I would rather have Kindiki, and because Kindiki, is there, but there's a way he doesn't really step on toes of people. So you can get some support there. And of course, there's also the ODM base. I doubt if today, just like in 2022, it reached a point where if William Ruto had even picked Susan Kehika as the running mate, the mountain would have still voted for him. In the ODM strong bases, they've made a decision. There are those who are going to stick with broad-based. Whether Ruto names one of them the deputy, whether he doesn't name, they're going to stick. So I doubt, for example, if William Ruto were to say today that he's going to nominate Buru as a running mate, as his running mate, I doubt if that will excite the ODM bases. Of course, they'll be happy, but will not change much. Which means in the ODM party, those who have decided to vote for the president, they will do so without conditions. But if you remove Kindiki, his supporters from the mountain will go. If you go by the votes in Ol Kalou, 10%. If you can get 10%, if Ruto can get 10%, were they 13% in Ol Kalou? You can be sure that there are other areas where I can perform better. But because the mountain has the numbers, you'd rather have 20%, 30% in Mount Kenya East, and then hope that those who have made decisions to support William Ruto in the Luo nation, the ODM bases will still vote for him. And of course, there's also the post-William Ruto politics. who is going to become the next president? That's another equation, and it's also going to determine how people are going to vote. You'd rather have Kindiki, who is not that ambitious, than pick, for example, if you had to pick Gladys, or if you had to pick Oparanya, or if you had to pick Weta, it's going to create more fights internally. So which means they are going to sabotage each other. So for me, if I were to advise the president, I'd advise him to do one thing. First of all, acknowledge that Mount Kenya is gone. Number two, figure out how to split the mountain. And number three, just lower the expectation. Aim at 25 to 30% of the mountain. But ensure that the other regions, like the Luhya nation, are well catered for in terms of the cabinet secretaries, the promises you're giving to them, the development, and even future promises. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Until next time, leave Makwiny. Bye-bye.